Forever I was his, followed him across various seas, should another swell threaten, even learned to dive beneath the surface of light, deep into forbidden caves. When children came along, he bought a fishing boat. On Sundays, rumbled off the coast, cast our lines for sport, always drawing up mackerel, shimmering silver, but tasting foul as oil. A friend said, just rinse them 7 times before you bake. Advice that did no good. A tease that sent us farther on for bigger game. From behind a storm raged, a demanding fish we could not tame that took him out. It was a Sunday, I remember, and his lasting gaze. The children laugh again. A fish can't catch a man. Oh, yes, it can, I say, and turn the page. Thank
you. Great. Let me check over any other screen here. Enid, you have your hand up. There we go.
I do.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Thank you. This poem is called When Astrology Fails the Human Heart. She pored over her ephemeris, tracking the planet's progress across the ornate mandala diagrammed on the lining of her sternum. She referred to this map at close intervals, but felt taciturn at the start of each lunchroom conversation about sun signs and the horoscope column in the local paper. Inwardly, she repeated Agata so as not to overhear such nonsense, and was chary of speaking her views, not because she felt superior, but because she wished never to be found out as a true believer. Having little in common with pop astrologers or those who talk too much about the planets. It simply worked this way. The more one studied, the less one knew. At the height of her understanding, her mother's death was foretold as any other event. As one planet moved inexorably on its course toward a point on the chart that could not be erased or circumvented. And then she had only to wait and watch her mother fail, having received news of each important lapse in advance. The only advantages to this knowing were that she had money set aside for plane fare, and her funeral clothes were laundered and packed. After the burial, she burned her chart and inked the inside of her heart bone, so there were no planets to read, no stars, and no roads to link them. She made herself forget their names, gazing up at the night sky, much as a cow might, thinking each time, as if it were the first, what lights are those? And how pretty they are. Thank you.
Would anybody else like to go? Otherwise, maybe I will try my hand. All right. I wanted to actually ask and see. I wanted to use maybe tonight's session to try something. This poetry group has, of course, means a ton to me. And I wrote a poem that has actually turned into a spoken word song on an album that I released about a week ago. I thought maybe I would try and see, I have it set up here, and see if the audio will come through well enough to play you the song and let you read the lyrics, which is the poem. It's about 5 minutes long, so it's a little bit longer than most people's readings, but is everybody okay with that? If so, then I'm going to give it a try. May I please ask for the ability to share my screen? Oh, no, I do have the ability. Good. So hold on a second here. Let me try this. All right, so this should be the poem. Good. And you should be able to see my screen, and hopefully this audio works. Nope, it's not going to work. Well, ain't that a shame? Then, what I'll do is go to a different poem. But, well, I think there's an issue with the way that my recording software is trying to do all of this at the same time, so I will have to work that out. That's a shame. I was excited to share that with you. But I'm sorry. I'm just looking for the other poem that I was looking for. Okay, got it. And that was pretty enjoyable seeing. I enjoyed seeing the words, so I'm going to give that a shot. This one's called Novel Ruins. Approaching a sandy arch from antiquity, I wonder why this is new to me. I've known this landscape for years, where I've laughed and shed tears. Tracks in the sand says we're in a dream of empty, meandering footprints, half filled with water from the receding tide. Friends have frolicked and fooled. Around the bend, a bungalow, alone and deserted, steadfast on the coast, it does not budge under the breeze, built with prevailing winds in mind, the craftsman knew of the wind's whip. And beyond rocks creeping up from the shore, and I realize this is a memory, yet it was created from the opposite direction and while on the water. I remember seeing myself slam headfirst into the ice, but from across the flurried and frozen. Staring down a seabird perched, he knows this challenge well, and with nothing better to do, he adjusts his view, expecting a lengthy battle. I break before him, and he shivers with pleasure, knowing he owns his roost. And my pal gestures to enter the home. Come on, give me a boost. Inside, a lady, indifferent to value, she's planning a future remodel, casting aside the memories of prior dwellers she's quick to paint over. Shades and hues mirror her absence. Finished and hungry, we leave the porch and return through the arch. What battles were won, and what transpired before we checked this haunt? The bird from the sea did see through me, knowing I'd break my view. Must I still my heart the next opportunity given, or rue? Thank you. Well, I will figure that out for another time. I would be so honored to play that for you. Does anybody else have anything they would like to read? Otherwise, we're